Hey, if you have a crush out there.
India was the only option that was viable, let me say. Slept on an empty stomach is things that,
Guys, I'm genius.
With a kid.
Welcome to Find Your Voice podcast. I'm your host, Tatenda FUSIRE. And every month we'll be joined by our amazing guests who will share their stories, expertise, and passion. From business, entrepreneur to culture and lifestyle, we'll all explore it. I'm excited today to introduce my guest, Simba, a student at Lovely Professional University, studying BCom, and the host, and can I say CEO of our popular and favorite Midweek talk show. Welcome, Simba.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. So we'll start with my first question is how are you? How are you mentally? How are you physically, spiritually, financially? Yeah.
Maybe financially first, because everyone wants to know about money and all that. But basically, I'm doing well. I can't complain. Then moving on to mentally, I've been an advocate for the mental health thing beyond and across LP, as you know, through the Midweek talk. So I believe that as an individual, I've managed to step stones. And I'm going somewhere mentally myself. I'm changing, I'm growing, and I'm understanding different things. Socially, well, I'm a bit introverted person. I'm shy, by the way. Most of the people are even surprised when they hear that I co-founded the Midweek Talk, because they believe that the Simba that we know is always quiet, it's always reserved. But it's something that I'm learning to achieve, learning to do now as I come out of my comfort zone.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because I've seen you so many times on your Midweek talk show, and you're quite loud there. Maybe it's because you're sharing something that you're so passionate about. But then here, when we met, it was like, okay, this is a different person. But that was quite interesting, and thank you for being here. So my first question is, who is Simba, and what is the Midweek talk show with Simba?
Okay. Firstly, to address the Simba question part, Simba is just a simple boy. When I say Simba, I mean very, very simple. I do not do anything that is out of this world. It's just a simple guy. We've got simple dreams, simple motives. I believe that the world can be made a better place through us ourselves. So this is the thrust of what I believe in. So Simba, like you introduced me as, Simba is someone that is pursuing BCom in his final year, and is someone that is passionate about sports, physicality, and also reading at times. Not so much, but I do read. And to talk about the Midweek, I know for sure that a lot of speculation has been going around, and people don't really know or understand what the Midweek talk show is all about. So the Midweek talk show is about the people, is about enhancing the youth that are growing and rising to become adults. It addresses issues to do with mental health. Specifically, we have talked about depression, we have addressed anxiety on our shows, and we also target business and entrepreneurship. We are the upcoming youth, we are rising into the world, and the world is being overtaken by the youthful people. So we try to offer a platform where people can explore and expand their horizons as youth in the business sector. And lastly, we focus on relationships. It's something that our very, very first show, it was talking about relationships. So we also dive there time and again. It's a controversial topic, but we love to share our ideas and our thoughts pertaining building valuable relationships in our society.
So what inspired you to start the show?
It's a very good question, but I would say that most probably it's my roots, how I came about life, how I grew up. I always have been that guy who is a loner, introverted, reserved. So I saw that in my time alone, I was missing on a lot of things, and I've always desired to speak my mind, speak myself. And in that isolation part, that's where most of the youth are drowning. That's where we start to think about drug abuse. That's where we start to think about suicide. Suicidal tendencies are very high when we have nowhere to express. So growing up as a person of that nature, I needed something that can really give people hope, that no, whatever you are going through, whatever you are in, there is still hope, there is still light. So the main drive was the idea to make the world a better place for others, not to go through the same road that I've gone through.
Wow, this is interesting. So, we're at LPU and our timetable is 9 to 5 every day, and it's quite hectic. So how do you balance your academic lifestyle with your talk show? Because you do this thing every Wednesday. So how do you balance that?
We decide what we want to do. First we make decisions, then decisions make us. What that means is, in order to pursue something, there has to be decisions being made, there has to be sacrifices being made, and in order to handle and to manage the midweek, it's all been sacrificed since day one. Considering it's done midweek, we have to do prior preparations to the day. Sometimes, of course, we lag behind, sometimes we are not well organized for the shows, but we are constantly trying because we know the reason why we started. I love a book by Simon Sinek that talks about knowing your why. So when you know why you are doing anything, you have that drive, you have that zeal, you have that push to continue going after the dream because you know why you are doing it.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'm also reading another book. It talks about this similar issue. It's the book is The Things You See Only When You Slow Down. So the book talks about when you are aware of your emotions and your goals, when you are truly aware of them, that's when you tend to be someone who's successful and you can handle everything, your goals, whether your emotions, because most of the time people focus on their physical or monetary goals, yet we don't focus on like what you're doing, which is really good, mental health. So when you're aware of your emotions and everything, you will be someone who's successful. And my next question is, what has been the most memorable or impactful conversation you have had on the show?
That's tricky.
Yeah.
Because I treat every session as the best.
Oh, can I say mine? I can talk of the one that was I relate to it now because I'm now reading a book that talks about mindfulness. You should be mindful about your relationship and everything. So I think I can't remember the topic exactly, but you're talking about, can you check upon each other, even if you have a housemate, just go check, like, are you okay, how are you, and stuff like that, because most of the times we're on our gadget or we're busy with schoolwork, yet we don't check up on someone who's staying next to us, like how they're doing. So that was like, wow, it was really impressive for someone at our age to think of that topic and say, okay, fine, the world has to know, people has to learn. I think you are really doing something great in the community.
Thank you so much.
Let's dive deep into our main topic, which is studying abroad experience and the advices that he's going to give you, so that whether you want to study abroad or you're already studying abroad, how do you balance everything? So the first topic is, what motivated you to pursue higher education in a foreign country?
Where we are coming from, especially most of us in our country, it's always about seeking opportunities, finding a way to greener pastures. So for me, I will say it was not rather about me having an option, but it was something that was induced. When parents see an opportunity that there could be an opportunity outside the country, we grab that opportunity with two hands, because we know that maybe it could be an opening to something that is greater. So this is how I ended up studying abroad. It's nothing that was clearly planned out, but it was just taking an opportunity, where we are coming from. We are told that when you see an opportunity, you have to take it by hook or crook. There's no two ways about it.
That's true. But then why India? Because we as Africans or international students in India, we don't have opportunities of like getting a job or something else. So why India specifically? Why not Europe? Why not some other?
Okay, India was the only option that was viable, let me say. Of course, I could have exploited other options, but then India was one of the quickest responses. And it seemed solid as compared to other things that we wanted to try. So there was no time to waste. Guess we just had to
just
take our chances.
Okay, I'll go for it. For me, I chose India because I wanted to do a 2+2. So I was supposed to spend 2 years in India, then 2 years abroad. But then your LPU asked us to pay 50,000 extra on top of your school fees every semester, and that was expensive. And also the universities that they offer us, they were expensive, like 27,000. They're like, no, we are too small for that. I mean, people back home understand that, especially in Zimbabwe with inflation and everything that's going on, it would be tough to raise like $27,000 per semester. So the second question is, how has studying abroad shaped your perspective on your home country and culture?
India is quite diverse. This is one thing that I observed and loved about them. Because there are many states. These many states, they engage in different things, but at the end of the day, they all come together as a unified country. They move along together. They are always supporting each other. So India, for me, has been a place of growth and self-discovery mostly. Because trust me, India will shape you into your vision or the person you are ought to be. Because there is a lot of lessons in India. There is a lot of opportunities that you can explore. That is if you are looking deeper within yourself. Because mostly we came here, usually we were under the watch of our parents. We were never really exposed to decision making. Especially for me, I used to be a tough guy, when it comes to making decisions. I used to quarrel with my mother because I can't make a decision. All I've known my life is someone used to make the decision for me and I live the consequences. So now having to live alone, having to be away from home, it meant that I had to become my own person. I had to become my own boss, my own parent, and I had to be responsible, regardless of who is watching, who is not watching. So it has really shaped me into the person that I'm becoming. I'm seeing that I've been growing mentally, especially mentally. I've been growing.
And also, like, we've learned to set boundaries. Like, okay, fine, I have to go back home by this time. I have to be indoors. I have to do my assignment without anyone pushing you. Because now, our parents are far away from us. We can come back at 1 if we want to, but then we've learned, guys, to come back indoors. I can't say the time because my parents will be watching, or our parents might watch, but then, well, we're doing great. We're doing a good job. And also, for those that are passionate about design, guys, I want to encourage you to come, especially in India. For me, I'm in that space in design. In Zimbabwe, people really don't learn and they don't dive deep, and their inspiration that people take and they're like, oh, it's satanic and whatsoever. don't judge. But then I've learned that as designers, how they express themselves and how they take inspiration is something that is out of the blue, and I'm really proud of that. And I've learned to be a stylist. Guys, look at myself. I'm Adventist, but hey, we are not allowed to wear this. But also because I'm trying to build my portfolio, so I'm trying to style myself in such a way that, you know, I'll become a better designer. Because definitely you're going to design for celebrities. Definitely it's what they want. They want something that's nice, they want something chic, they want something classy. We talk of everything. So if you really want to study something that's related to design, art, I would rather advise you to come to India and study, because their curriculum is really great, and you meet so many people. We have upcoming designers that are doing great in the industry. You have Gaurav Gupta, he's really doing great, and he's recognized worldwide with this AI thing. Is designing something that's great. So from there, I think it shaped me, like, not to judge, especially things that has to do with art. We judge, oh, it's satanic, or it's something like that. So it showed me, like, people express themselves differently. Someone is expressing their struggles, yet when you see it, like, no, this is demonic or something like that, yet it's not like that. You have to sit down and, okay, let's view it from that's me right now. I now view it from their own perspective. Like, how were they feeling? How are they expressing everything? And for me also, I'm expressing the same thing, which is a good thing. So, yeah.
Maybe on that one, you've touched on something that is quite interesting.
Yeah.
You've talked about perspective. It's something that I really have been investing time into, given the fact that I'm studying where there's a diverse culture. We have other students from other different African countries, and we ought to live together. We are in the same community, same environment. So it means that we have to accommodate each other if we want to go further. And it's really been something that I've learned, that we are people that are shaped of perceptions, but rather we must not live in our own perceptions.
That's true.
We should be able to come out of our perceptions to allow other people's perspectives to govern us, or to allow us to live or to coexist with people. So I believe that being here has been really opening my eyes to some things that I was just ignoring. When we are in our own community, our own social environment, there's no external things that are new or things that are different. We just believe that the way we do things is the proper way. Yet there is a lot of ways to kill a cat, but guess we will never know if we live in our own perceptions.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, guys, we are taking a break. Stay tuned for the next. So welcome back to Find Your Voice. We're going to talk about the challenges that we are facing here, and also how we have overcome those challenges. So tell us about your challenges.
When I talk of challenges, I'm exposed to a lot of social environments. I'm exposed to this thing, the Midweek. So the challenges are spanning from different corners and different angles. But I'll just joke you through maybe some of the key areas. Let's start with the Midweek. As a person that is in charge or behind the Midweek, there are certain challenges pertaining coming up with topics, interesting stuff for the people.
Yeah, that's true.
It always has been a thing to think about each and every day, each and every new session. You have to constantly think, how am I going to produce the best thing that gets people's attention? And then coming to my life as an individual, studying abroad really doesn't come at a silver platter.
Yeah.
Trust me, it doesn't come at a silver platter. You go through a lot of things, a lot of stuff, and you have to conquer those stuffs in order to survive. I've managed to move, now it's 3 years in India, and I can say that India is never too easy. Yeah, maybe too easy, because to some it's easy, to some it's okay. But personally, it hasn't been that smooth road. The road is so bumpy. You go through depression. In India itself, I experienced some depression. There was a moment that I was dealing with mental health, and it was something to do with the exposure part. You know, when you are now exposed, you have to take responsibility. Constantly you are making decisions. Now when you are someone who is not used to that, it becomes difficult. It knocks you down. Then you have to grow that thick skin to be someone who is able to stand for your own. So it was a challenge to finally gather my feet as an individual to say, no, I'm independent and I am the person that has to show up when I need me. So that is one. We also talk of even connecting in the society. Oftentimes I've seen that we are people that we have this mantra that focus on yourself, focus on your life, minding your own business, that type of thing. But really, when we are in a foreign land, it's not about minding our own business.
We need the community.
Exactly. We need that love. We need that constant care for each other. Because you never know what you walk into. You never know what someone is sleeping through. You never know what someone is going through. But basically, I can conclude that challenges are a part of our lives, and challenges makes us grow. And for India, it has been a place of challenges, both from personal life, even food. That's an interesting topic. To tell someone that you once slept on an empty stomach is things that no one talks about, but they are real things. I myself am a testimony, because sometimes things take
and you order food and then you can't eat the food. It's too spicy.
You see,
that's the other issue. But then academically, have you ever faced like a challenge there?
Yeah. There is a semester that I got blocked regarding my stay visa. Yeah. So while I was blocked, we had an assignment. And the policy of the university, that time I didn't know that when you are blocked, the marks cannot be uploaded.
Yeah.
So that time I was blocked. We had a CA, and in that subject it was the only CA. It carried a weightage of almost 45%. So you can imagine the magnitude of that subject. And then they tell me that no, you were blocked when we did this assignment, so we cannot give you marks. And now I'm thinking,
automatically they give you 0.
Exactly. Now I'm thinking that if I don't get this assignment, there's no way I'm going to pass in the exam. There's no way I can get 55% in the exam. I need an assignment to carry me through at least. So it was a difficult moment. I spent times visiting the education department in LPU trying to rectify, and they told me that no, we cannot do anything about it. It's either you're going to register for a backlog or reappear. But I was not ready for that.
Yeah.
Given the effort that I had put in all the things, I'm saying, no, this is not fair to me, because I've done the assignment, I've done what it was expected of me, and I deserve the marks. But it got resolved. But it was resolved. I was in another semester when the issue got resolved. It had been past that phase, and I had forgotten about it.
And then you had KF.
Yeah, exactly. I had that.
How did you crop it to your parents? Like, guys, we can't show our parents apps.
No,
or they understood, like, okay, fine, it wasn't your problem.
Yeah, luckily I've got understanding parents, and they trust me. So they know that when I post something, it's actually what it is. I don't hide anything. So I just send them like that. No, this is the situation at the end, and these are the things that have transpired. And then they understood it. So,
I guess I also had a similar issue with the visa. So when I applied, I was already in Delhi. I was staying in Delhi, and I was on a diplomatic visa. I was on a dependent visa actually. And then we asked them, we applied, everything was done and stuff. And then from nowhere, imagine the first semester they were okay with my dependent visa, and then the second semester they're like, you should go back to Zimbabwe and get a student visa. And I'm like, make it make sense. How can I just go back home in the midst of nowhere? Where am I going to get the money to buy the tickets and everything? And also I was trying to change my course because they just uploaded compound fee 50,000. We're like, where's this 50,000 coming from? They're like, no, it's because you're on a 2+2 course. So I'm now telling them, can I change so that I spend 4 years on LPU? And they're like, no, we can't do that, ma'am, and stuff like that. And it took long. And then I was staying in the hostel. These are some of the challenges I faced. I was staying in the hostel and I developed acids, yeah. And I was sick. And like the same thing, all my assignments, my first year I got zeros. Like all of them, because I was blocked for like a month, if not so. Yeah, and I went to Manish the other day. Every day I would go up and down like to talk to him. I told him, say, so can I pay a certain amount to change the course? He said like pay 27,000. He told me that into my face, and I paid like 27,000. I went to him, can you change my course now and unblock me and stuff like that? They're like, who said that? Just pay the rest, like 23,000. I'm like, say, am I a bank? Like, honestly, am I a bank? Oh, that time, that day, I've also learned that at some point you have to stand up for yourself and tell them how you really feel. Like sometimes they don't really care because we are like Africans and they don't really take good care of us. You understand, as Africans today. But they should come a time whereby you say, okay, enough is enough. Say, you know what, this is what's happening. And if you have a daughter and if she's going through the same situation, like the same that I'm in, you'll be stressed. And I'm stressed, I'm depressed. Look, I'm getting zeros, and it also affected I didn't get Fs and stuff because they chose the two best. So I did my third CA and and the second CAs. So but then my GPA was like low because I was stressed and everything was so tough. So God will show up at a point that you feel like you are dead, you cannot do anything. That point that you're like, okay, it's here, I'm here now, God. Can you do a miracle? Can you show me the way? That time that you fully accepted that you cannot do it alone, God will show up for you. That's how God showed up for me. And then everything was sorted out and I was unblocked and they said, oh, you can take your visa on summer break and all that. And that's how I think it was God, because if I was going to do it alone, I was not going to do anything and it was going to be a tough situation. But then God showed up, and I've also learned that to accept things, to just accept, like, as humans, we cannot do everything alone. We need to surrender everything. We need to surrender our goals. We have to surrender everything that we are going through. We might find solution, but if you don't surrender it to God, you cannot achieve anything without God. What do you say about that?
That's so true and positive. You know, the moment that we think we are our own heroes, that's the moment we fall. Yeah. Because we have to acknowledge the presence of a greater force behind our lives.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, most of us, we are coming from backgrounds that do not even allow us to be here. So exactly. you automatically, immediately feel that there is a greater presence that is of God behind us. And the more we try to do all things on ourselves, the more we end up being depressed, you know, we end up giving up because we cannot do it unless we acknowledge His presence in our lives. Then He starts showing up in our lives. Because I love this thing that says that where we give up, that's where He starts.
Exactly.
So if we can never give up, we deny him that opportunity to actually show up in our lives.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I think we know the story of dry bones, right? The bones were dry. In their dryness, God gave them life. God gave them the air to breathe, and they became flesh. They were given everything because these bones were dry. Maybe if they were not dry, who knows? They're going to be like that for the rest of your life. Imagine being in a situation where you think, oh, I can do it, oh, I'll solve it, and then you suffer the whole life, or you regret your whole life, like, oh, I wish, or maybe I was supposed to do that, oh, this didn't work, so maybe I'll look for expertise that will teach me to do that. Yes, it's good to have mentors, yes, it's good to fight, but there should come a time whereby you have to surrender. And even before that time comes, I think we have to surrender everything to God and realize that He's our creator. And He said, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you. So I'm sure if you surrender everything to Him, He will show you the plans and He will lead you, He will guide you. Because if you're walking in the guidance of God, I think you'll never go wrong. Yeah. So what advice would you give people that are going through challenges and that are going through a lot here in India? What advice would you give them?
The first advice that I would give them, let me quote Shakespeare. He said in he said in one of his acts, he says that crisis, it's not bad after all. He was talking about crisis and problem. That crisis gives birth to something that is sweet. What it meant is that there are certain situations that may seem like it's the end, but in those situations we end up having something that is even better. We end up even producing something that is even more fruitful. So to someone who is in a difficult situation, I would rather say learn to embrace, that down period, that down moment, because in that moment, that is where your elevation is going to come. I love how you are inculcating the stories from the Bible. There is a man called Joseph. He had a dream, but at a certain point he was thrown into the pit. But later that pit became his passage to greatness, you see. So crises are there, but when we focus on the crisis part, we cannot go anywhere. But the moment we embrace that crises are meant to be there, then we acknowledge God in those situations, then God will definitely open new channels, new ways of us to get to the desired land. That is what I think. There is no greater force that exceeds acknowledging God in our difficult times.
I think there's a verse that also supports that struggles will give you hope, and that hope will give you, faith. I don't know the verse.
Yeah.
And then that will shape you to become the better version of yourself. And also, one thing that I will also advise us, that there are times that we are going through a lot, and we don't sit on our own to look at it and say, okay, what should I do? And how can I overcome this? Or I want to surrender to God. Sometimes we pray and pray, but we don't listen to God. Actually, our minds are so busy with prayers and stuff, but we don't have that time to say, okay, I have to sit down and listen to what God is saying. It's okay to just sit and say, okay, fine, God, it is what it is. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But then I'm here. I don't know what to say to you. Because sometimes you don't even know what to say in that prayer.
Yes.
Just sit and say, God, talk to me. Here I am, your daughter. Can you guide me? Can you lead me? And also, there's this book that I'm reading. I think I relate more to it because it talks about you have to be aware of your emotions. for you to overcome them. You don't have to avoid them, because the moment that you avoid it, it's another thought that's coming to say, okay, how do I? It's another thought that's coming, and you are building up, you are dwelling in that pain, and you are feeding the pain. At the end of the day, you're not going anywhere. You have to sit down with yourself and become aware of the situation. Okay, fine. So I have anxiety issues, and it happens maybe when I'm like this, that. So that when you are in that situation again, maybe there are words that triggers you. If you are aware that, okay, if people say this to me, I get triggered. So the next time when someone say those words, you know, like, okay, fine, she said these words and this triggers me. And the more you become aware of the situation or your emotions or the situation that you are in, I guess you overcome. Slowly it will, you become snow like white. I don't know. Is it how you say it? But like, yeah, you should sit down with yourself. Spend time with yourself. That's self-care. Like what he's saying, he talks about mental health, and I love it. We should take care of our mental health. Like, it's really important. Yeah,
that's so positive. You know, I always tell people that problems that are not addressed, they always find a way into our lives back again. So if it means depression, if it means anxiety, we have to address those things so that they don't come again. Because things we bury, things we forget, they'll always find their way to resurface. So a problem that is addressed is solved. But then most of us, we think that, no, we can avoid it, we can do something else, we can choose to ignore it. But the truth of the matter is that thing, you just ignored it, but you have not solved it. So these are some of the conversations that we engage in at the Midweek talk to try and address those issues.
Okay, so the last question that I have for him, as you approach the end of your final year, what's next for you, and do you have any exciting plans or projects on horizon?
Okay, that's a brainstormer question.
Yeah.
You know, life is about to get real for most of us.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned about life is you can never be ready unless you have to, until the time you have to. So I guess I'm moving in that zone whereby I'm not clearly sure of the picture that it paints. But one thing I am sure about is the support that I have, the positivity I have is that the same God that has started the good work in me is supposed to finish it. Yeah. So as I look ahead, I just say that, no, we have been here because you said I should be here. Exactly. Now as I move into the world, I know that I don't know, but you know better upon my life. You know, you say the verse in Jeremiah 29 verse 11 that talks about God knowing the plans that He has for us. So I strongly hold on to that one. You know, of course, I'm looking in the lips of increasing the focus of the midweek. Yeah, it's something that I'm planning that it should go international. In various other countries. This is my personal, but then I always acknowledge the superior being, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. And also I feel like, I was sitting with my dad the other day, so I don't know, he saw this interview. There's a lady who designed clothes for Olympics, and she's really doing great. She's in, I can't remember the country very well, but then she also has a shop in Zimbabwe. So he was saying, you know what, at the end of the day, when you are graduating, you are doing your degree, right? You don't think about what am I going to do. It's high time you start looking for links when you're still studying. Start doing something. If you are in a creative field, so you are doing business, right? It's accounting, I'm not sure. Yeah. So there are companies in Zim that are doing great. So if you start making business proposal and something like that, and sending them like, I'm doing this, or I have a project, can I volunteer to work for you on this thing, so that at the end of the day when you graduate, at least you have a base. I think that's what people should start doing, especially people that are graduating this year. Hey, start doing something, because this world, hey, you start living when you graduate, because your parents are not going to give you pocket money every month anymore. You are now a grown-up person.
That's true.
Hustle for yourself, so you have to start now. Okay, so welcome back to another segment. We are going to play a game, and then Simba is going to tell us where we can find the link to join the midweek show. So I want you to join, guys. Those that are single and searching, it's the right platform for you. Those that want to learn about spirituality and all that, you should also join, because they talk about a lot of things, whether mental health, spirituality, dating. He also mentioned something of linking you guys. Hey, if you have a crush out there, they will link you up. So where can they find you?
Okay, so basically we do a session every Wednesday on Google Meet. You can find us. There's always a link that is circulating on statuses of those people that are affiliated with the Midweek Talk, and also the links are sent into the Zim Students Association groups, the African Students Association groups. They are always dropping the links. So we do sessions on Wednesday. That's where you can find us on Google Meet. And then also you can also find us on Instagram. We are affiliated as the Midweek Talk with Simba. The same as YouTube, we are affiliated as the Midweek Talk with Simba. And one more thing is we also have got regalia, the Midweek regalia like this one. Okay. We've got t-shirts, we've got hoodies. So if you are a fan and you are interested, you can just get in touch. We get you the apparel.
Yeah, so guys, let's support each other. I'm going to buy a t-shirt. I don't know it, but yes, I'm going to do it. Definitely. So let's support each other. Subscribe to his channel and then his IG page, The Midweek with Simba, right? Exactly. Yeah. And then, my friends, prepare a game for us. So Simba's going to pick 2 words. It's charades, something like that. He's going to pick 2 words from here and then act it, and then I have to guess like what is it. So we don't know, is he a good actor? Oh, am I going to be smart enough to guess the words? So go on, you can pick the words.
Yeah, I'm not ready for this. I'm not good.
I'm closing that.
I'm not good at acting, but then we will try.
Okay, you can close it and then act it.
Okay, you don't have to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is like
is it a place?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's a place. It's and then there's got. I'm not supposed to say. I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Then,
how many words? Oh, is it Eve eating the apple? Oh, it's a place, Garden of Eden.
That's it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
The Garden of Eden.
Wow, guys, I'm genius. Okay, another word.
Okay, it's me again.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is hard. For you, not for me. But it's like thing.
It's like a Red Sea or something.
Exactly.
Because it's like God is like Moses is like hitting the water and then the water. Okay, fine. It's my turn. Whoo. There are characters. 2 characters.
Okay.
So okay. Let me try. Don't laugh. The first character. And then the second character.
Let's say it again. I did not quite get it.
The first character. And then the second character. And then.
I'm not good at this, but I'm thinking it's the story of David and Goliath.
Yeah, what do you mean? It's just this at the start and then
There is a dance or something.
Okay, yo, what were you thinking? Like, really? Guys, I don't know how to act this.
Yeah, let's see.
Woo. Okay, so it get 5 words. So I'll start with the other thing. It's an animal. So it's like and then the character is, and there like a lot of things like and this one
is it David with a sheep?
and then
How many people we associated with animals in the Bible?
look, which animal has this?
Is it a cat?
No, it's not a cat. It's a wild animal. Should I sound? It has a deeper sound.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the cat family. So I'm guessing it's a lion.
Yeah. And then,
When it's a lion, there's one story that I love about lions. So it gotta be the story of Daniel.
exactly.
The lion's den.
Yes. So thank you so much for tuning in our YouTube channel. So it's my first video. So guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We love you. We'll see you in our next segment. Bye.